Jessie stared out the window. Rain. Always rain. Her life felt as dreary as the weather. Days blurred into weeks, weeks into months. The once vibrant colours of her world had faded to a dull grey. Marriage to Marcus had become predictable, comfortable, safe, but boring. She longed for excitement, for passion, for something more. A spark was missing, a vital piece of herself she felt she'd lost somewhere along the way. Where had the girl who dreamed of adventures gone? The girl who craved spontaneity and excitement? Jessie sighed, pushing the thought away. This was her life now. This was what she chose, wasn't it? Later that night, scrolling through Instagram, a familiar face popped up. Roy, her college sweetheart, the one who got away. But his life wasn't away at all. It was on full display for the world to see. Pictures of exotic vacations, luxurious dinners, and a carefree smile that made her heart skip a beat. He was living the life she craved, the life she once dreamed they'd share. He looked happy, successful, so out of reach, and yet she couldn't tear her eyes away. A message, just a simple, "Hello, stranger." It was all it took to rekindle the flame she thought had long died out. Roy responded instantly. They fell into easy conversation, reminiscing about old times, laughing at shared memories. He was charming, attentive, everything Marcus wasn't. The more they talked, the more Jessie felt that old spark ignite within her. A dangerous hope began to blossom in her chest. Could this be her chance to reclaim the excitement she craved? Every message was a stolen moment of happiness, a secret escape from the monotony of her life. One evening, while scrolling through Roy's Instagram, Jessie noticed something odd. A picture of him with a group of friends, and, standing right next to him, his arm slung casually around Roy's shoulders, was Marcus. Her heart skipped a beat. What was Marcus doing in that photo? She knew they moved in similar circles, but they weren't friends. Not anymore. A seed of doubt, tiny but persistent, began to grow in her mind. Something wasn't right. She decided to confront Marcus casually, mentioning seeing him in Roy's picture. His reaction was strange. He brushed it off too quickly, a nervous laugh escaping his lips. He mumbled something about a work conference, but his eyes avoided hers. Driven by a growing sense of unease, Jessie decided to follow him, a decision that would shatter her world. She trailed his car to a secluded cafe, and that's when she saw them, Marcus and Roy, sitting together, laughing, their body language screaming familiarity. Her heart pounded in her ears. This had to be a dream, a cruel joke. It couldn't be true. Section 6, the Mastermind's cruel pact revealed. Jessie couldn't believe her ears. She hid, listening as their conversation confirmed her worst fears. They weren't just friends, they were cousins, close cousins. They had planned this whole thing. "She's falling for it," Roy chuckled, glancing at his phone. "Good," Marcus replied, his voice cold, devoid of any emotion. "She's been a burden long enough. Time for us to move on to bigger and better things." Jessie's blood ran cold. They were discarding her like a worn-out toy. The life she envied, the escape she craved, it was all a cruel charade. Section 7. False hope, shattered dreams, the unraveling of Jessie's fantasy. She wanted to scream, to confront them, to make them feel the pain they had inflicted, but her legs felt like lead. The world around her spun as the weight of their betrayal crushed her. The man she loved, the man she had built a life with, had been playing her for a fool, and Roy, the beacon of hope, the escape she so desperately clung to, was nothing but a willing accomplice in her destruction. Her life, her marriage, her dreams, all reduced to ashes in the face of their callous scheme. Section 8. The aftermath, picking up the pieces of a broken heart. The following days were a blur. The confrontation was explosive, filled with anger, accusations, and tears. But through it all, their indifference stung the most. They didn't even try to apologize, to explain. They didn't need to. They had already moved on, leaving Jessie to pick up the pieces of her shattered life. The pain was unbearable, a gaping wound in her chest that threatened to swallow her whole. But as the initial shock wore off, a new feeling began to surface. Anger. A burning rage that fueled her determination to rise from the ashes. Section 9. A new beginning, embracing the unknown. She would not let them break her. She would not let their betrayal define her. Jessie packed her bags, leaving behind the remnants of a life built on lies. The road ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in a long time she felt a flicker of hope. She was free. Free from the shackles of their deceit, free to rediscover herself, to rebuild her life on her own terms. The pain of betrayal would linger, but it would no longer control her. She was taking back her life, and this time, she was in charge of her own story. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, and if you could like and share with your friends, plus 1000 aura to all who watches.